You know that feeling when you scroll through endless listings of 4K monitors and recorders, each one promising studio-grade HDR and instant playback, only to discover the unit you finally buy feels cramped on set, the touch controls lag, or the recordings don't line up with your timeline. I've been there, staring at a gorgeous spec sheet while my crew watches the footage jitter on a tiny laptop screen, wondering if I just wasted a big chunk of the budget. That hesitation is exactly why I'm doing this deep dive, so you can avoid the same disappointment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Atomos Shogun AV19 is a 19-inch rack-mountable monitor recorder that tries to solve those onset headaches by folding a high-resolution touchscreen, HDR processing, and a full-featured switcher into a single chassis. In a typical production truck, you'll have a rack full of cameras, audio mixers, and a small edit suite. The Shogun slots right into that rack, giving you a single point of visual reference that can both monitor up to 3840x2160 and record 6K raw footage without needing a separate recorder. The capacitive touchscreen feels responsive enough to tap through menus while you're standing on a ladder, which is a real time saver compared with digging into a menu-driven LCD on a handheld unit. What really stands out in day-to-day use is the built-in NDI-HX3 support. You can pull a live feed from a networked camera and view it on the screen without adding another capture card. That made a huge difference for a client who wanted to preview a drone feed alongside the main camera while we were shooting a music video in a warehouse. The ability to apply custom 3D LUTs on the fly meant the director could see the exact grading look before any post-production work, eliminating a round of "the colors look different after edit" emails. If you're a production house that already runs a 19-inch rack or you're building a mobile studio, this unit checks a lot of boxes. It's designed for teams that need to record ProRes or DNX in real time while still having professional monitoring tools like waveform, vector scope, and false color at their fingertips. The XLR audio inputs let you capture clean, sync-locked sound without a separate recorder, and the built-in speakers are loud enough for quick reference checks during a live-witch scenario. On the other hand, if you're a solo creator shooting documentaries with a single DSLR, the price and rack size may feel overkill. The Shogun isn't something you'll comfortably carry in a backpack, and you'll likely need an external SSD for extended 6K RAW runs, which adds another expense and a bit of cable clutter. People who are happy with a small on-camera monitor that records to SD cards will find far more value in a lighter solution. The strengths are clear, but there are a few trade-offs that become apparent after the box is opened. First, the unit draws a respectable amount of power. In a field environment, you'll need a reliable rack-mount power distribution unit, otherwise you'll be watching the LEDs dim as the battery sag. Heat management is decent, but after a couple of hours of continuous 6K RAW recording, the chassis gets warm enough that you'll want to make sure there's airflow in the rack. The user interface, while touch-enabled, still relies heavily on the Atomos software ecosystem, which can be a bit steep if you've never navigated their menu trees. There's no built-in SDI loop-through, so if you need to daisy-chain multiple SDI cameras, you'll have to bring an external router. Finally, because the device is marketed as an all-in-one solution, you'll notice that the internal SSD slots are limited to 2 bays. Expanding storage means you have to plan ahead rather than just pop in a larger card on the fly. All things considered, the Shogun AV19 delivers exactly the kind of integrated workflow that professional rigs crave. It removes the need for separate monitors, recorders, and switchers, which can streamline cabling and reduce the chance of mismatched firmware versions on different boxes. For teams that already run rack mount gear and need reliable HDR monitoring with raw recording capabilities, the value proposition is solid. For anyone whose workflow is more mobile or who is constrained by budget, the size, power draw, and accessory requirements could outweigh the convenience. If you think this fits your setup, take a look at the specs and pricing details. Link is in the description for the final call.